leave it all on the road. I just really want you to go as all out for 20 minutes, and I want you to taste blood, and I want you to cross the finish line and nearly pass out. That's going to give us a true indication of really where your fitness is. So I just try not to put a number on it, because I might end up holding you back. I said, well, I think you should just peg it 360, and then if you can ramp it up the last bit, sometimes it just doesn't really work that way. It's more just there's going to be a natural place where you maybe have to back off because suddenly you're just like, oh crap, my respiratory rate is way higher than it should be, and I'm not recovering, and I'm starting to build up more lactic than I can deal with. And, I mean, when I used to do them on a pretty regular basis, probably every I'd say once a month, every 6 weeks or so during the beginning of the season, and I had a checkpoint. I would personally not look at it. In fact, I would turn the screen to a different, to time or something like that. But I knew I always did the same spot here in Boulder, and so I kind of knew if I was on a good ride, it's like, okay, if I make it to this one spot, that means I'm kind of ahead of schedule. And I would just glance down, usually about the halfway point, and say, okay, I'm at 300, whatever. And it's like, all right, I thought I was on a good ride. Now that's just confirmed it. But I never wanted to just, because it can totally screw with your head. If you look down and you're 10 watts higher than you've ever been, you're going to probably back off. If you think, I'm going to blow, I'm going way too hard. Or if you look down and you're 10 watts lower than you want to be, you're going to get kind of bummed out, thinking, I'm just having a crap day, and you might throw in the towel. So that's kind of gray advice, I know, but like I said, I just don't want you to be focused too much on a number, because that's why we do the test, because it's going to tell us kind of where you're at. It takes into account, what you're doing for 60 minutes, what you're doing for 30 minutes. And so it's just kind of this ever-changing matrix and metric of so many different things. And, it's pretty easy to just say, well, my 20-minute number is where my fitness is. But again, it's taking into both high, the shorter things like your 1 minute and your 5 minute, in addition to what you can do for, say, 90 minutes. And so you probably got a little uptick with that, your all-time 60-minute number. I'm sure that changed things a little bit. So not that you're going to be able to repeat it weekly, because that's not the way fitness works, but just something that it wasn't a complete outlier. Number one, you weren't having a weird data spike day or something like that. But number two, that it is something that that's repeatable within your physiology. So whether it be a 5 minute or a 20 minute or a 60 minutes, so I just know what works for guys like you and myself, and people that are trying to be at the level that you're at. So in a way, your 20-minute test is just a longer, drawn-out version of that same thing. Because if you started lower and try to raise it, if your slope looked like a ski jump, it just doesn't. Body just doesn't work that way. That just means you were way too conservative early on. If you were able to then get better numbers toward the end.
Oh my gosh, I overpaced that just a little bit too much. Dang it. I think it was like 400 for the first 5 minutes, and then it's about 382 for 10. I was feeling decent. I think I was about 370 for 15, and then those last 5 minutes, that's where it caught up to me, and I just slightly overpaced it. Dang it. I think I ran 362, which is my second best, but I did 365 a couple weeks ago, so I don't know. Mixed emotions. Squat's over. So that 20-minute test was, it was frustrating, okay? But here's the cool thing. I mean, you heard my coach, I did his voiceover in the background, and I was letting him talk quite a bit about just overall how to do a 20-minute test and things like that nature. And it was tough, like seriously, it was hard, and I hadn't done full-blown threshold or VO2 work. So, it's not excuses, but it's just like we haven't worked on those energy systems. And what happened was I got a little overzealous and I paced a little bit too hard. And because of that, I ended up kind of blowing up there around the 15-minute mark. So I came up 5 minutes short. I mean, I kept pushing as hard as I could for all 20. It was still my best 20-minute power, like second best all time. But it's just like one piece of the data, and that's one thing. When we were talking about different stuff, we did get together and talk about this test afterwards. And that's the cool thing about WKO that I really love is WKO. This is just one data point on a snapshot of so much data, right? Based off of my 5 second, 1 minute, my 5 minute, based off of my 10-minute that I did, that 10-minute was pretty insane. I mean, that was almost my best 10-minute. I was off by like 3 watts. So that, and even the 15-minute was really strong, and I had done my best hour power about a week ago during Sweet Spot. So all of that put together with that test, and I had a 365 20-minute effort about a week ago, all of it put together, WKO very accurately projects me at 360 watts. So even though that test, it's like, well, you only did 362 for 20 minutes, dude, how the heck is your threshold 360? And that's the cool thing about WKO. It gave me a time to exhaustion. So we're looking at, you know, on a good day, fresh and primed and ready to go with a number on my back. I mean, you're looking at 360 watts for about 35 minutes is what I can physically hold. And, you know, when I did the Old Toll House time trial, it predicted that I could hold 350 for about 35 minutes. And I think for that time trial, I held darn near 355, like 352, 355 for 30 minutes on that time trial. And again, that was my threshold at the time, and we've been training off of that threshold of 350, and now we see a nice little trending bump into the 360 range, and we're going to start threshold work this week. So, you know, and talking through things, we wouldn't be surprised if in the next week or two of doing threshold work, if we were to retest, that actually I would be knocking out around 375 for a 20-minute test. Because again, my zones now for threshold during these workouts is going to be 342 to 378 watts. And obviously, you know, we both know that, you know, if I'm going to do 3 by 20, I need to start pacing those around the 350 mark. And as, you know, you adapt and you get better at them, I will go up and be able to pace a little bit higher. But that's the cool thing about WKO, and that's, you know, I tell my athletes if they have a bad day and they test bad, I just tell them, hey, it's not a big deal. We still have lots of data, good data points. That's why I did that 1-minute power the other day. I'm actually planning on doing a 5-minute power here next week. But overall, it's, I mean, it is what it is. It happens. Sometimes you're off, and I was off, and it's okay. You know, just chalk it up and we go home and we keep moving on. Like, yeah, I kind of sucked that day, but mentally it's like so many gains have been made. I mean, I can't even complain. Just had a bad test day. I know I can do better because I did better the week before. So we're going to keep grinding at it and look at, you know, seeing what we can do in the next training block. But outside of that, that is a 20-minute test. If you have any questions about that, dude, leave comments below. I like reading those and I will answer those. And, you know, tell me some of your experiences with 20-minute tests. Tell me if you do the ramp test. I'm not a huge fan of ramp tests, but it's cool. You know, maybe you do the longer hour FTP test. I don't know what you guys do, but I'd love to hear more about that, what you guys have experienced. And then, as always, keep riding and training hard. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Sweet.